Is in. What are your takeaways so far from the receivers?
Yeah, I'm really pleased. I mean, I think we're all, Coach Swinney said we're back in business, and I think, today was tough. We were a little banged up today, but overall we've been really healthy. And the guys are flying around, making plays. I think offensively, with some of the new concepts that we have, I think there's excitement, from the guys. They're having fun. They're excited to get out here and make plays, and they're doing that. I think in our last scrimmage we had 11 big plays, and did some good things, did some bad things. But man, we're really making some big plays downfield, and I'm seeing a lot of improvement, a lot of excitement, a lot of energy. So I'm overall really excited about what we got going on.
Any guys in particular that have stood out?
Yeah, I mean, I think with Joe, I just was encouraged with talking to him, and he's hardly missed a rep. He's healthy, and I think this is the most technically sound and God has been, which is exciting. I'm not having to correct nearly as much, and so that's great for your senior, your leader, your bound, your receiver. And so he's been consistent. He's making plays. He's leading. This is the best he's led, the most verbal he's been on the field. And in the meeting room, he's great. He's like another coach that can help me out. So he's been everything I've hoped for up to this point. Bo Collins is a pro. I mean, you hear that all the time. I mean, Bo is he's probably the most consistent guy we have overall, and he's probably had, I'd say, probably the most big plays up to this point, and just so consistent. I don't have to watch him in practice. I can focus on the other guys because I can expect him to know what to do and to perform at a high level. And so great energy. And so he's a good one. Spector. I mean, how about him coming back after everything? And so Brandon's done a great job of playing that slot. With EJ being out, I was going to have EJ playing the slot a little bit, and also some two. Okay, but Spec, man, that's a great position for him. And so he's getting a ton of reps. He was going to be kind of rolling in, having to kind of slowly transition into spring. All of a sudden, EJ is out, and hey, all right, Spec, let's go. And I don't think we really expected, him to be able to push through and get the amount of reps he's gotten. And so I think we're thrilled to see him with the speed, with the quickness, the short area burst. Is what he does. Solid pass catcher, very natural pass catcher. And so those guys, kind of rolling out there first have done a really good job. Adam Randall, I mean, everyone's, raving about him, and for good reason, because he doesn't look like a freshman. Physically, you can see that. But out there on the field, he's a quick learner, comes from a great program at Myrtle Beach High School, and very similar concepts to what we run. And so all it is for him is really new terminology. I mean, he's done these concepts before, and so he's making plays. He knows where to be, and I think for him, you just see a big physically imposing guy that uses his frame, using God's gift to his ability. And he's a great pass catcher, very natural pass catcher, and so that's been great. Dakari is doing good things, and I think with him, challenging him because of a couple guys. Dropping, with Troy being out a little bit, with EJ being out, he's had to play 9 and 2. So he's playing the boundaries, playing the field. And so he's having to learn a lot. And that can be a little bit, he's still a young guy learning. But he's done really well. I think the last 4 practices have been probably his best. Didn't have the greatest start. But man, Dakari's done really well and bounced back from a little bit of a rocky start. And with Troy getting back out there, he's doing some good things. I could go through the whole group. I mean, I'm seeing some really good things in development from all these guys. And I think that, again, like I said before, there's excitement, there's competition. I mean, it's an honor to play receiver at Clemson and to run out there first. And I think this is the most I've challenged the guys, and just, hey man, understand, like, this is the standard. We've set a standard at Clemson, all right, and we're going to get back to that. All right, it's going to take work out here in practice. Before it shows up on Saturday. So we're doing some good things.
Talk about Brandon Spector. I mean, how challenging was that just for him mentally last year? Just he obviously has some things beyond his control, and trying to work him through that.
Yeah, I think it was challenging mentally, but I think if you ask him, it was probably one of the better things that's happened to him overall for his psyche. I think it grew a lot. I see a more relaxed, confident Spec than what was before the injury. And so I feel like he's in a good headspace, and I feel like he's more confident and having more fun. So you ask him that year away, probably made him a better player. It's made him a better person. He's told me that, and so I'm excited for him.
It's just perspective, you think?
Perspective, yeah, perspective. I think he kind of, grew up a little bit. I mean, I think he, went through some tough challenges and some adversity, and kind of found out who he was a little bit more, and I think he grew in his faith, is what he shared with me, and so that's a cool thing. So he's grown in, I think, a lot of areas.
What's he looked like physically, just coming back this spring?
Yeah, I mean, he's got great speed. People kind of forgot, because we went through mat drills before we had spring practice, and everyone was like, man, that's what they were talking about, because before he got hurt, he was flying around everywhere, and so he's just he's got springs in his legs. He can run, and change directions and get open, in those short areas, which is what you want in the slot. And so he's picked up the playbook well, getting open, using some good technique, manipulating a DB and that kind of stuff you got to do in the slot. It's man coverage, but a lot of time it's understanding zone and grass and how to get open, and he's doing a good job of, he knows it, but he's learning that more.
Is there some Renfro in his game?
Yeah, I guess you could. I mean, somewhat. Renfro was, I don't know, Renfro didn't even think about it. He just kind of did it, So kind of similar skill set when it comes to the explosion, the short area quickness.
Can you elaborate some? I think you said some new concepts and had guys excited. Can you just elaborate some on that?
Yeah, I think with what typically kind of heading into spring, you look at what you did in the fall and what you rep most, and you say, okay, we actually repped this more than another concept. Let's install that earlier maybe, or we with Coach Schrader, taking charge, and Coach Richardson stepping in as the passing game coordinator, we had to get to work. It wasn't. We had to see, okay, what do we want? Who do we want to be? And Coach Schrader, having to call the plays he believes in, and so taking some concepts last year and tweaking them, all right, and feeling really good about that. Totally new concepts we've never run before, where we are attacking areas of the field that we probably haven't attacked before as often, I should say, and. So I think there's just a ton of excitement from the guys because they see it, right? We installed some stuff, and then they got to do it out here and realize, wow, okay, this is new, and we are kind of attacking something we haven't done before. So that's been good.
Anything else studied in offenses, or anything you studied to try to?
Yeah, we studied a few. I think with Coach Schrader, kind of. Having been a coordinator before, taking what he's done at other places and using those, but also kind of merging some concepts. And it's not difficult. It's football, and everybody's running the same stuff for the most part. And so, putting wrinkles on some former stuff and dressing it up with motions or formations, and I think that's. And what's crazy is it's probably a little more simple in some ways. Where the guys aren't having to think as much, which is really good, because guys listen.